Okay, well, thank you for joining me today for your beautiful yoga practice. Let's just come into our space and land and arrive in our studio, softening our eyes, sitting up nice and tall, nice tall spine, and taking some deep breaths. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And two more like that. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And another. And continue to breathe in and out, taking notice of your rise and fall of your chest. Relaxing your body, just allowing gravity to support you in your practice today, feeling the earth underneath your feet and underneath your base, supporting your spine as you inhale all of the energy from the earth coming up through your body, and as you exhale, letting go of all that doesn't serve you. Been tuning into a little bit of astrology to see what's happening for us, and there's a great deal of change coming, so we should be prepared for some surprises. It's a good time to spend time outdoors in nature. It's great for healing and for our health, letting our bare skin touch the sand and the grass and the earth, letting the sun shine on our skin as well, allowing the energies of nature to heal us and detox us. So as we go through our practice today, thinking about nature and thinking about ways that we can be in it and how wonderful the energy is for our body, supporting us in our health. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Checking into your body and noticing if there's any little niggles or any little tight spots, acknowledging it and letting it go. Leaving behind the busyness of our morning and any thoughts that may come up, acknowledge them and let them go. And then circle our arms. It's getting some movement into our body. Make the circles bigger and bigger. Just really stretching out our hands, stretching our shoulders and coming back the other way. Nice tall spine. And then bring our hands back to center. Take a couple of breaths, just acknowledging your practice. And then let's put our right hand down on the ground beside us. And as we exhale, bring our left hand over the top, stretching through the left side of the body. Inhale as we come up to middle and exhale to the other side, stretching the right side of our body. It's going from side to side. Let's go one more on each side. And then come to tabletop position. Bringing our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders. Opening up our fingers, pressing our palms into the mat. As we inhale, lifting up and adjusting our spine, just moving through cat-cow. As you inhale, drop your belly button and raise your chest. And as you exhale, raising your belly button and arching your back up towards the ceiling, stretching out the shoulders and the neck. Just moving from breathing in to breathing out. Warming up our spine. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And on your next exhalation, bringing your buttocks down to your heels and stretching your forehead, your hands out in front, bring your forehead down to the mat into child's pose. And take some nice deep breaths. Coming back to our practice intention, feeling the energies of the earth coming up underneath our body. Let's take 4 breaths here. Nice big deep breaths. On each exhalation, allowing your forehead to surrender down towards the mat a little more. And then last breath here. And then inhale, bring the chest up and forward into an upward dog. And exhale back into child's pose. Just moving our body through the sequence between child's pose and as you inhale, come into up dog. Warming up our spine and our lower back, opening our chest. Let's take 3 more. And 1 more upward dog. And then turning your toes under and lifting your hips up into downward dog. Walking your heels down towards the mat. It's our first downward dog for the practice. Stretching out the back of our legs and our shoulders. Pointing our crown of our head down towards the mat. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then let's take our chest forward into upward dog, rolling over our toes. And exhale to downward dog. So taking the movement a little bigger. And let's go 1 more round. And then coming up to a standing position. That's it. Give your body a little shake. And we're going to go into a warrior sequence next. So turning your left foot out slightly and step forward with your right foot. As you inhale, lift your arms up, lift your chest and lift your gaze into warrior 1. Connecting with a stretch through the left hip. Really stretching up nice and tall. And then taking your right hand forward, left hand back. Elongating out through the hands, keeping your right leg nice and strong. Keeping the bend in the right knee. Let's take 1 more breath here. And then bring both hands down towards the mat and lengthening out the right leg. If you have a block, place the block next to your right foot. And then inhale, lift your left hand up towards the ceiling and looking up to the left hand, connecting with the stretch through the back of the right leg and through the front of the chest. Let's take 1 more breath. And then release the hand down to the mat. Inhale and come back up to standing. Bring your legs back together. Give them a little shake. This time, turn the right toe out slightly and step forward with the left foot. Looking at your alignment, just checking that your left heel is roughly in line with your right arch and your hips and chest are facing forward. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms and bend the left knee. Coming into warrior one. Just taking some nice deep breaths here, connecting with a stretch through the right hip. One more breath here. And then take the left hand forward, right hand back, keeping the bend in the left knee. Stretching out, elongating out through the hands. Then bringing both hands down to the mat, lengthening out the left leg, and then opening up the right hand up to the ceiling and stretching out through the left leg and through the front of the chest into triangle pose. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And then bring the right hand down to the mat and then come back up to standing. Welcome, Penny. And then let's go into a wide-legged forward bend. So taking our feet nice and wide. And I'm going to inhale, lift our arms all the way up. And exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands down towards the mat. Bend your knees to support your back a little bit. Have the crown of your head facing down to the mat. Can heel toe your feet a little wider. And have your head pointing down to the mat. Slide your hands back so they're in line. Your fingertips are in line with your toes. And let's take a few breaths here in this upside down position, just allowing our body to rest here. Feeling a nice stretch through the back of our legs and our lower back. And just let your shoulders and your head fall heavy. Just landing in the practice, coming back to our theme of nature and health, spending time in nature. Let's take 4 more breaths here. Just pausing to think about getting outside, walking with the sand in your feet, the grass under your feet, feeling the sun on your skin, soaking up all the energy of nature, helping it to heal you and make you healthy. Let's take 1 more breath and then lift your chest and lengthen your spine, stretching out through the spine. And then heel toe your feet a little closer, bending your knees, and then come up to standing. And just give your body a nice shake. And we're going to do a couple of rounds of sun salute. So we'll come up to the top of our mat. And have our feet about hip width apart. As we inhale, we're going to lift our hands up, gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. And then step back into a high plank. Slowly bending the elbows and lower your body down to the mat. Untuck your toes, bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Slide your hands back slightly. Inhale, lift up through the chest into upward dog. And then tuck your toes under. Exhale into downward dog. Gazing forward and then step forward. Bring your feet towards your hands into a forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Feel the stretch down the back of your legs. And then exhale, draw your chest towards your legs. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale, come up to standing. And bring your hands back to heart center. Just taking a couple of breaths here to even out your breath. It's quite energetic, these sun salutes. And let's do the next one. So inhale, lift your hands, look up. Exhale, fold forward. And then step back into your high plank. Slowly bending your elbows, lower your body down to the mat. Untuck your toes, inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, tuck, roll over your toes and come into downward dog. And then gaze forward and step forward into forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Exhale, draw your chest into your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up, stretching up towards the ceiling and bring your hands back to heart center. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift your arms, stretch up towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, step back into high plank, bending your elbows and slowly lowering your body to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, roll over your toes, coming into downward dog. And then looking forward, step forward. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hugging your chest to your legs. And then inhale, coming all the way back up, hands to heart center. Well done. Give your legs a little shake. We're going to come into a balance pose now. And with our theme of nature, we're going to do a tree pose. So finding your gazing point and opening up the toes on the right foot, a little bit of a circle on your hips, and then pick your left foot up, toes next to your right foot, and then bring it up a little higher, bringing your knee out to the side. And let's bring our hands out like branches on a tree. Just taking some nice breaths here, nice and still. That's it, nice and steady. Let's take 2 more breaths. Taking the knee out to the side, and then relax. And give your legs a little shake and come to the other side, opening up the left toes and just grounding the left foot, finding your gazing point and bring the right foot next to the left, and then lifting up. Take your knee out to the side on the right side. Bring your arms up like a tree branch. And just taking some nice deep breaths. Stilling your body, stilling your mind. Balancing your body. Take 2 more breaths here. And 1 more. Well done, relax. Give that a nice shake. We're going to come down to the mat. You might like to put a blanket under your knees, Penny. And we're going to come down to all fours. And lengthening out our spine. And we're going to lift our alternate leg and arm. So we start with our left leg, right arm. As we inhale, lifting up the leg and taking the right arm forward, putting the toes down towards the mat. And then exhale, bring them down to the mat. Inhale, take it to the other side. Lift and lengthen, squeezing through the buttocks, nice and flat through the body. Exhale, bring them down, and inhale to the other side. Let's take a few more rounds, just focusing on your breath, and just inhale and lift on the breath. Squeeze and exhale, bring them back down. So let's go from side to side. A few more rounds. Thinking about keeping everything nice and steady. Imagine you've got a bowl of water on your back and try not to spill it. And let's go one more on each side, keeping it nice and even. And we're going to go to a half dancer pose. So this time we're going to lift our right leg and bend our right knee and bring the foot towards the left side. Lift the left arm up and reach back to grab the right foot. And then inhale, kick back with the right foot and lift up with the chest. Just taking a couple of breaths here, noticing the stretch through the shoulder and the right thigh. And release. Let's go into child's pose to rinse out our back. And taking a few breaths here. Each time you exhale, allow your forehead to come down a little closer to the mat, surrendering into the pose. And then inhale, come back up to all fours. This time lifting the left leg up and bending the left knee, bring the left foot towards the right side. And then reaching back with the right hand to the left foot. Inhale, kick the left foot back and lift up through the chest into half dancer. Feeling the stretch through the right shoulder and the left thigh. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Kicking back nice and strong. And then release. And come back to child's pose. Stretching out the lower back. Walking your fingertips forward. Bringing your forehead down to the mat. Let's take full breaths here. Coming back to the theme of our practice, feeling the energy of the earth coming up through your hands, through your forehead, through your shins and the top of your feet. Imagine you've got roots coming down from your hands and through your body down to the core of the earth. And each time you inhale, you're drawing the energy up. One more breath here. And then coming up to standing on your knees. And we're going to bring our hands to our lower back, just to our butt. And we're going to inhale, lift our chest and looking up. So we're stretching the front of our body, squeezing our glutes. Taking a couple of breaths here. Just opening up through the heart and the chest. And on the next inhalation, we're going to lift up the left hand and slide the right hand down to the right heel. It's reaching up, stretching through the front of the body. Fingertips on the heel. And then inhale, bring both hands back to your butt again. And then take it to the other side. So inhale, lift the right hand up, stretching up towards the ceiling and sliding the left hand down to the back of the heel, the back of the left heel, stretching up, looking up towards the right thumb. It's taking a couple of breaths. So we're opening up right through the front of the body. This is called half camel. And then inhale, bring both hands back. And let's come to our backs, laying on our back. And hugging our knees up to our chest. Into Apanasana, releasing our back. So we've just been doing a back bend, so we're going to release any tension in our back. Rolling our knees in a circle, one way and then the other way. Bringing our heels down to the mat and sliding them towards the body. And we're going to inhale, lift up through the hips and lift our hips up and bring our hands over the top into bridge pose.
Squeezing the buttocks, lifting them up nice and high. And as you exhale, bring the buttocks back down to the floor, lowering your vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing your hands back over the top, back to this by your side. Slide your heels in a little closer to your buttocks, and inhale, come back up again. Out through, bring the arms over, reaching out through the shoulders, squeezing the buttocks, lifting as high as you can, really pressing through the heels. And exhale, slowly lower your vertebrae back down to the ground. Bring your hands back over the top next to you. Let's do 2 more rounds at your own pace, using your breath to trigger the movement. Remember to slide your feet in nice and close to your buttocks, pushing through the heels as you come up. Bring your hands over the top. And exhale, bringing your hands back beside you and bringing your buttocks back down to the mat. This time, bending the left knee and bringing it in front of the right knee into a half pigeon. And then reaching forward, holding on either to the left shin or the right thigh or the right shin. And allow your upper back and head to come back down to the mat. Feeling that deep stretch through the left glute and the left hip. Surrendering into the pose, coming back to your breath. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then release your hands, allow the right foot to come down to the mat, and then cross over the other side, bring the right foot up and across, and then lifting the left foot up off the mat and drawing the right shin up and the left leg towards your body. Allow the upper back and your head to relax back down onto the mat. Softening your eyes and focusing back on your breathing as you surrender into the stretch, taking some of the tension out of your glutes and your ITB on the right side. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then release your hands, bring both feet back down to the mat. Bring your hands up into cactus position. Legs are still bent, knees are bent, and drop your knees to the left side, looking to the right side, keeping your shoulders on the ground. Taking a couple of breaths here, twisting out through the back. Just relaxing into the pose. Take 2 more breaths here. Then inhale, bring knees to center. And exhale, take them to the right, looking to the left. Feeling that twist through the left side of the body with your shoulders on the ground, feeling a stretch through the front of the chest. Just taking a few breaths here. Bring your left knee down to meet the right knee. 1 more breath. And then bring your knees back to center. And then hug your knees towards your chest. And you might want to rock backwards and forwards or into a circle, just releasing any tension you might have in your lower back. And then reaching through the middle of your knees with your hands and reaching onto the outside of your feet, lifting the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling into happy baby and allowing your spine to be in contact with the ground and your head on the ground, and just feeling the lower back flatten onto the mat, giving it a nice stretch. Softening your eyes. Just slowing your breath down, relaxing in the pose, coming back to the theme of our practice, being in nature and letting nature heal us. And then releasing your feet, allowing your feet to come back down to the ground. We're going to go into legs up pose next. So you might like to move close to a wall, or you might like to bring a support underneath your lower back into a supported legs up, or going into a shoulder stand, whatever works for you. Bring your feet up nice and tall, pushing your heels up towards the ceiling. And your ankles in a little circle in one direction, and then the other way. Taking your feet out nice and wide. Just enjoying the inversion. Coming back to the breath. Bending your knees and bringing the soles of your feet together with your knees out like a butterfly. And then lifting the feet up towards the ceiling again. If you're in a shoulder stand, you might like to bring your feet over your head into plow pose. Let's taking a few more breaths here. Just enjoying the inversion, letting all of the lymphatic fluid come down from the feet, through the ankles, down the legs. And then on the next inhalation, slowly lowering your feet down to the mat and coming into Savasana, resting your body after your yoga practice. You might like to put a bolster underneath your knees. If you have a blanket, you can put it over yourself. An eye pillow you might like to put on. And just relaxing into the pose. And we're going to relax here for the next 5 minutes or so. As you do that, thinking about the theme of the practice today, using all the beautiful energy that we have at the moment, spending some time outdoors, thinking about nature, which is great for our health and our healing, bringing our bare skin in touch with the sand and the grass and the earth, allowing the energies of nature to heal and detox us. Enjoying the beautiful energy of your practice that you've cultivated here today.
Coming back to your breathing, noticing the floor underneath you, supporting your practice, stretching out through your fingers and toes. Noticing the sounds inside the room and outside the room. Gently rolling to one side and coming up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you for your lovely yoga practice today, ladies. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Well done, ladies.